How about Ohio State?
I think because of how they lost, that they Will Howard ends up running, and there's something bigger that happened in that game. And I don't know if Dan Lanning, the head coach at Oregon, thought about this in advance. They got 10 seconds to go in the game, and they put a 12th man out there knowing that they're going to be flagged 5 yards. Now, this is after a timeout, so Ohio State runs a play. Well, the time goes off the clock. They don't reset that. So you take basically you're saying, hey, you can run that play. We're going to flag them for 12 men on the field. So it's only 5 yards. You have an extra guy. You make sure they don't get a big play. It penalizes Ohio State because now they're down to 6 seconds? And you're trying to get into field goal range. Mark my words. This rule will be changed.
This week?
Correct.
It might be already being changed this morning.
And you know what? If Ohio State got it over on Oregon, it might not.
It might
but
not
because
be changed.
Oregon did that to Ohio State, change the rule.
Yes. But you're watching and they don't put the time back on the clock. So, okay, we'll take the 5 yards. We don't want you to get a big play. Time off the clock. Now, what do? You got to get into field goal range. He didn't get down in time, and they end up not getting an opportunity for a game-tying field goal. That's a fun game, though.
Yeah.
Fun. Back and forth. Dylan Gabriel. There were some playmakers in there. But that rule will be changed. It will be changed. And it should be changed because at least give them the time back on the clock. That would be the only thing that I would add to that. Because why not put 15 guys out there? I mean, it's 5-yard penalty. You put your entire team out there. They're not going to get a first down.
A couple walk-ons.
Everybody. I mean, it's not like it's 5 yards per player. It's 5 yards if you have an extra man out there. I'd put 15. Make sure you don't have any opportunity for Ohio State to have a big play. Yes, Todd?
While we're talking rule changes, isn't it about time we make pass interference on college wherever the thing happened as opposed to 15 yards? If you get beat for some 60-yard play down the field, I think it's very weak that it just encourages pass interference so you don't get burned deep.
I only one rule change per show. Like, this is the only one I'm going to do today. Okay? I can work on the other one, but I'm just going to do this one because it happened to Ohio State. Therefore, there's probably going to be change. He was on site for Penn State's win over USC at the L.A. Coliseum. Rick, thanks for joining us. I'm not going to start there. I want to bring up something that happened in the Oregon game. Did Oregon put one over on Ohio State from the standpoint of they had 12 players on the field, second to last play, and it's only a 5-yard penalty if it's 12 players on the field, and then the clock doesn't reset after the penalty. So time, dripped down off of the clock, and then Ohio State got 5-yard penalty, but you took away 5 seconds on the clock. So did they pull one over on Ohio State?
Here's what I know about defensive coaches. They know every trick in the book. Years ago, Arizona State against UCLA, when I was coaching at UCLA, put 13 guys on the field on a second down and goal from the 7-yard line with 8 seconds left in the first half. Our quarterback couldn't find anybody to throw to, threw it out of bounds. Of course, the penalty, we get half the distance to the goal, but now it's 3 seconds left in the half, and we have to kick the field goal. So they basically got us, and it was 13 guys on the field there. Lanning had called timeout. He saw the bunch. When you play bunches, meaning 3 receivers clumped together, you usually play it in and out with somebody on the point. You're going to be out leveraged on one of those if 2 receivers go in or 2 receivers go out. You're going to have somebody that's going to be in a leverage disadvantage. When you put another player on top of that bunch, that goes away. This was the 12th player. The 5 yards were worth the 5 seconds. Brilliant by Oregon.
we're seeing these teams in the Big Ten going cross country, and it's not pretty. Now I know Purdue won, or Penn State won at USC, but I don't know how you coach a time zone or two time zones, because this is going to be what life is like in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's strange. This Penn State's was only the second victory. I think their teams are now 2-8 or 2-9 that have traveled two time zones. It is life in the Big Ten. It's going to be really interesting when we see all the other sports, basketball and softball and all the other sports start traveling like this, because they're not going to have the benefit of charter air. They're going to be traveling and making stops in different cities across the town and changing planes. And so, but this is the new normal, as you say.
I know USC was an underdog, but you're up 2 touchdowns. You're at home. Is the seat warm for Lincoln Riley?
He's lost 8 of his last 13 games. That doesn't sit well with Trojan fans, especially who, hit the wallet to make sure Lincoln would come. It was a brilliant game. Both coaches came out of their comfort zone. Lincoln ran the ball more than he likes to. James Franklin threw the ball more than he likes to. At the end of the day, Drew Aller was better than Miller Moss, and I wonder how long they can go with Miller Moss if he's not going to hit those passes down the stretch, because he's not a guy that can get out of the pocket. Jordan Maava, the kid who they got from UNLV, is sitting on the sideline. I wouldn't be shocked to see him getting some chances here in the coming weeks.
But are the expectations too high for USC?
No, it's USC. I mean, they've won 11 national championships.
I know, but that feels like it's a long time ago, Rick.
But if they have the resources, which they do, to go and get the best and brightest across the country, which has always been the case. I mean, if you go to Pete Carroll, you go to John McKay, they always had players that came from far away that wanted to be part of the glitz and glamour of USC. Then you can put together a great team. They're better defensively, but they haven't stopped. They had 2 fourth-down chances on that final drive. This has got to get better, and it's got to get better faster. They're going to be some really upset Trojans. And when you have a fan base that gets divided, which was the case with Clay Helton, that just isn't united, then it's just a matter of time before the coach is the guy that goes.
He's Rick Neuheisel, CBS Sports college football analyst. Better pro prospect, Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning?
I think probably Arch, given the way we saw Arch run. Now Quinn, I think, is also a beautiful pro prospect, but Arch has maybe that X factor, which are the ability to get out of a pocket and make plays with his legs.